Over the last 3 weeks, Bitcoin has crashed nearly 40%, with the majority of those losses coming in the last few days. The markets have been extremely fearful for the last few days. However, we're seeing a recovery on the price. So this begs the questions, have we seen the bottom? Is the bottom in? How can we tell if the bottom is in? Should we be buying cryptocurrency? And of course, is the bull market over? We plan to answer all these questions in today's video, looking specifically at Wyckoff analysis, as you may be able to tell from the chart here. So before I dive in, get those YouTube numbers up, like button, subscribe, bell notification icon, because we'll go through this content and keep it up to date on the channel. So make sure you've done all those down below, and of course share this around or bookmark this video so you can come back to it and have a refresh on the Wyckoff analysis, so that if you get into one of these fearful times, you can feel a little bit more at ease. All right, so let's crack on with the charts, Wyckoff analysis. I'm going to show you my superannuation fund portfolio. That's basically the retirement fund. Not to brag about it, but to show you the dollar cost averaging method, the good stuff that I've done in it, and the super noob stuff that I did in it early on, very early on back in 2017. So I'll show you those on the charts. There'll be a few links for you guys to use in the description down below if you want to go through to set up your own superannuation fund with, for example, New Brighton Capital. Link is down below. That's for the Aussie guys. For the Americans, it's similar to your 401k as well. So link will be down there, and then also to set up with an exchange, just so you can go through those processes if you're looking to do it yourself as well, using some of the tools that I'll look at here. For example, the Fear and Greed plan, which is available to all of our members in Patreon and Premium as well. There's a special on Patreon at the moment, 16% off for the annual program there. Okay, so this Fear and Greed plan shows $1,000 entries. This was back in May, June, and July. Reason being is that we were entering using the Fear and Greed index when it was hitting 15 or lower. So we're going to use some Wyckoff analysis today as well, because we saw some pretty good drops into 42,000 on Bitcoin, and the data here only got to 16. So we had 18, 16, and we're back to 25 already. So the Fear and Greed plan, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Every time we dropped to that level, we were buying in. So basically that's similar to like a dollar cost averaging method. The average we have here is nearly a third of a Bitcoin, with a return currently, even with this massive drop, of 50% return. So we're still sitting in profit, and we're feeling pretty good about ourselves in that regard. So the dollar cost averaging method here comes into effect when I look at my superannuation fund. So the current value is 433,400. Digital currencies total 412,800. So this has dropped a little bit if you've been following on the channel. There's about 20 grand of cash in there, and I have bought another $10,000 worth of Ethereum in this account. Taking a look at some of the purchases I made here on the account, you can see it's about $1,000 at a piece, and then I got a little bit giddy and started to throw in a little more than $1,000, getting half a Bitcoin for 4,400 Aussie, 1,000 Aussie, 0.176 and 0.08 for 500, 0.173. So this was all through August 2017 and November 2018, and there's a few more as we go up. So what does this look like on the chart? Well, I've got pink arrows of where I was purchasing Bitcoin using something similar to this dollar cost averaging plan that I've just talked about, available to all the members in Patreon. Links to all this stuff is down below if you're interested. So this looks like, at the time, pretty bad buying. But if you zoom out, scroll out, have some patience, then it doesn't really look so bad on the bigger picture here, especially when you put it into log. It's not so bad at the end of the day. But at the time, it really doesn't seem like the best idea. And you can see the few mistakes that I made in here. So the market's going up. I'm buying. Then we get this bit of a blow off top. We sort of ran up straight and then dumped for a few days. So naturally, you get scared. The market moves up. Another day moves up, and I think I'm going to sell some. So the blue arrows are the sells, the pinks are the buys. So I sell, I buy on the way up again, I sell on the way down, and then realize that this market is actually still in a bull market. So you can see on this sort of chart, it's similar to what we experience. We get big moves down, a recovery, it doesn't make it. We'll see this on the Wyckoff analysis as well. Then a lot of people will potentially sell out as the market goes down, as you can see I did here. And then after the sells, I turn back to the buying because I can see the market absolutely take off. And when we throw some volume in here, we can really see that the market is beginning to play out again. So the idea here is that we want to get in with the trend and start to move with it. So buying, buying, buying. This is all we can see at this point in time. Obviously, we don't know what's on the right-hand side. And so we're just seeing that the trend is up. Let's keep buying these levels. So continuing to buy, market bleeds. This time, I've learned from the mistakes of the previous time. Let's not sell out just yet. Look at these big volume bars with the reversals. And this is going to come into play to what we're seeing today. So that's why I go back to this period, show you real-time examples within my retirement fund, SMSF for Aussie guys, and the lessons I was learning through 2017 using a similar sort of plan, dollar cost averaging in. Let's get into the market because we're in a bull market. Continue to buy. Now, at that point, I don't think I bought anything more because the market really started to get quite steep, hard and fast. So that kind of threw me off. Plus, maybe we just don't have the funds. I don't remember exactly at the time, but there's only so much you can put into the market before you run out of funds. So this time we're up, back down, didn't sell anything. That's the way it was. I did not sell anything. You can see it here. And then continued to buy on the bleed down again because we had lasted a year over here. Market just going straight down. So the lows are starting to come in. I'm buying some of these lows here. Didn't get any more. Started to buy on the breakout. And then we can start to see that the rest is history. We've come all the way to the present day. You can start to see some sort of similarities where we have some big bars down the end of these cycles, end of these runs, some big volume coming into play, similar to what happened in May. But the tricky period is then waiting out the next stage. Is this the accumulation or is it the distribution? It's only after the fact that you can tell, okay, it was accumulation. We got a big run up and the market continued to go. So maybe we will have to have some patience here, but it seems to be while we're in a macro bull market, the best opportunities to be buying are on these major dips when it is, of course, extremely fearful. We're in extreme fear now. Now we dive into the juicy part, and I've gone through blow by blow, day by day, and labeled out the differences or the pieces of the puzzle when it comes to the Wyckoff analysis. Of course, this is my opinion of how it has played out, but I do this so that I can feel a little more confident in when I'm buying and selling. And so we have the distribution period. And I know some of you guys as well have come to know this analysis pretty well and you're making comments about it. So it's really good to hear that in the comments and of course on Twitter as well. The major thing we want to know here is, are we in an oversold or an overbought? So we're going to get marked up soon because we've been oversold, or are we going to get marked down because we've been overbought? At the very basics of it, that's essentially how the price cycle works, according to Wyckoff. And I don't think you're going to get too many people that would disagree with this. If it's oversold, time to accumulate, we take all the supply off the market. That drives up demand, and then we go through the same cycle again. There's too much demand. It gets overbought. More supply comes in because, well, prices are high. Let's sell off, take some profits from the people who were buying at the lows. You can look back, similar to what I'm looking at here, but it's just the patience game. You know, how many years I was buying in at the lows and just waiting for it. So I'm giving this as some sort of encouragement if you're finding yourself in a tricky situation at the moment. So let's just look at the blow-by-blow plays here, the analysis, looking at some of the terms. So these are the Wyckoff events. Preliminary support, selling climax, automatic rally, so PS, SC, AR. That's coming to the present day. That's where I'm looking at here. But taking a slight step back, looking at the distribution, we have preliminary supply, buying climax, automatic reaction, secondary tests, sign of weakness, and then finally our upthrust after distribution. So we still have some last point of supplies as well. It's always about supply at the top. So PSY, preliminary supply. That's what we're seeing here. Then we have the buying climax into a peak, the automatic reaction, the ST standing for secondary test. And that of course means it has to be a little weaker than the buying climax. And it's all noted here as well. Volume and spread should thus decrease as price approaches the resistance area of the buying climax. And I know this gets kind of dry, but if you can take the time and go through it piece by piece, it really starts to make a lot of sense. So again, secondary test as an example, we won't go through absolutely everything. Volume and spread should thus decrease as price approaches the resistance area. So price is approaching the resistance area, the supply, you can see at the bottom, which is the volume, this is how they work together, is decreasing. And we're also looking for the resistance area, so the volume and the spread. So the spread is the price, so how far the distance is. So the spread is small on this bar here, the 24th, a little smaller again. We got 25th, or it's slightly larger than the 24th, but overall it's a smaller spread. Then we get the sign of weakness, the drop. So these now become our support zones, these yellow horizontal lines. Same with our resistance zones, which is the buying climax. We get the up thrust into the last peak here, so it does go a little higher than the buying climax, but again, it's weak. It comes back into the trading zone. Last point of supply, you can see the market start to climb, even though it's low volume, tried to climb as a little bit of supply here, and then gets swiftly rejected, higher volume, dropped, knocked back down into another sign of weakness. Last point of supply, you can see the pattern forming again. Basically the little rally here, less volume, it doesn't make it back, hits resistance, falls back again, and it gets a few signs of weakness, a few last points of supply, and eventually we get the phase E signal. So it leaves the trading range. We had one attempt here to leave the trading range and it came back in, and then we finally left the trading range. Now this is happening a little quicker than it did in May, so I suspect it's going to be a shorter Wyckoff accumulation phase than what we saw through here. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm looking at this point in time. We saw about 35 days down into the low of May, and 97 in total. At the moment, we're about 24 days down into the low that we just had on the weekend on the 4th of December. And it looks like we're switching from phase E to phase A of an accumulation zone. Now, if this goes into a V-shaped recovery, then of course this is going to play out much, much quicker. And then maybe we look at something that's similar to what we saw in 2017, where we had a big peak here and then we dropped off and we basically got a pretty reasonable V-shape, as you can see there, recovery, with a few of these playing out quite quickly. So it is possible, but if we don't get there, then at least we have our plan. And so looking at the final letters here, we have PS, preliminary supply. So that is breaking down part of phase E of the distribution. Potentially, could be wrong on this one, but it doesn't really matter because I see that the final bar here on the 4th is one of the selling climax bars. We could get multiple selling climaxes, but at the moment we have one very significant selling climax here, 24 days down, and it looks like we're getting an automatic rally, just like we had an automatic reaction. This is also an automatic reaction to the upside. You get it to the downside when you're high up in the distribution section. So maybe we're in the accumulation now. Probably get a secondary test, just like you do when it's in a distribution phase. And I'll be looking for this to see where it comes in. Do we get it testing the low a little further down? That'll give us some other signs of strength. And the next stage is to be prepared for the next phases of the accumulation. And then we can start to see whether the secondary tests come in, if we get some more reactions, some more supply drying up, and go through the phases as per the accumulation schematic. One more point on the Wyckoff events. We don't have to see these play out at every single point in the market. Remember, we'd still have a markup and a markdown. So within these periods, we may not see any of these sorts of accumulations or distributions play out. But at some point, they generally appear, and that's our signal to either sell out or to buy back in. Now, if we're doing all of this trading, it would be helpful to have a software that helps with your cryptocurrency tax tracking. So check out the link below as well. This is for accounting.com. And while you're down there, of course, there are other links for Patreon, where you can learn more about trading cryptocurrencies and investing. And of course, the self-managed super funds for the Aussie guys. So that's where I'm sitting at this point in time for the Wyckoff analysis. We'll continue to update these, so keep a lookout in your YouTube feeds for more updates of the Wyckoff analysis on cryptocurrencies, in particular Bitcoin, as it is the king. Thanks very much. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on Twitter or Instagram. See you at the next one. Till then, have more fun to get more done.